Hello and welcome back to the world of tech. I'm Darren Dunn, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at Nokia's N8 smartphone and seeing how it lives up in today's smartphone range, and will it be able to compete with some of the other smartphones that are out and about. So without further ado, let's get to it. Now in this review we won't be going too much into the hardware and software because it's running Symbian 3 and it's Nokia. So as you can imagine, you're going to get great hardware, and the software with Symbian 3 is not great at all. However, if you do want to see a full tour on both of them, which is hardware and software, there'll be a link in the description to the written review that takes you to the website where you will find out everything you need to know about the hardware and software in two detailed separate videos. So getting on with the actual review, we're going to just briefly go over the hardware. Now turning this onto the back to start off with, and the first thing you're going to notice is solid grey metal with an amazing matte finish. Hardware with Nokia has never really been a problem, and I can't ever seeing it be a problem. One hardware issue I have found, I don't know if you can hear that clicking, but it started clicking about a week and a half into our review trial of the product, and it doesn't seem to click back in place. So that's one downside, that it seems to be a bit soft at the top, but otherwise hardware is mastered on the Nokia N8, in fact all across Nokia's devices. But what I'm going to do is talk about the screen and the front of the device. Now, the front of the Nokia N8, you're going to get a 3.5 inch, so that's iPhone 4 size, which is actually pretty small compared to some phones today. For example, you've got most of the Android phones that are 3.4 inch, but this is actually running a AMOLED display, so the resolution's coming in at 640 by 360, so you're getting an amazing display. It's not as good as the Retina or the Super AMOLED, but 640 by 360 with an AMOLED display, it's going to produce amazing colours, and I'm going to show you that now actually. So if I just unlock this device, and as you can see, I've got a very colourful background on the back of Symbian 3, and it's an amazing screen. If you're watching a lot of videos, viewing pictures and doing a lot of media stuff, this screen is better at colours than Apple's iPhone and the Retina display. So that's the way it works. However, the Retina display seems to be better on text, as you will see later on. So what about software? Now let's start talking about navigation. When I first saw Symbian 3, I thought straight away, hang on a minute, that's Android. And it looks pretty similar to Android. I mean, you've got very simplified widget base. I mean, I can just hold down, touch, add a widget, and there you go. I want to see what's in the BBC News, and I can click done, and then, you know, it's customizable like that. So Android and Nokia's Symbian 3 are very similar in the way that things work. I'm just gonna press menu, and the first time I did this, oh look, it looks similar to Android and iOS that time, but that's expected. And now one thing that really does put Symbian 3 down is it looks like it's the iOS of 2005. It just looks out of date, a bit stale, similar to iOS does. However, I can't see Nokia, if they don't do anything about it, I can't see Symbian being around for much longer. However, one thing I'm going to have to add is Symbian is dead, but it's not buried. It still can be revived. And that's one thing Nokia definitely need to consider is, you know, don't let this operating system die. It's definitely got potential. Now, one thing that really bugs me about operating systems like this is it's like a three-step process to do something. I have to click menu, settings, then I have to go through all these categories of settings, and that's not what I want to do. The world is becoming lazy. I'm becoming lazy, and I just want things to be a lot simpler. So that's why Symbian 3 isn't many people's operating systems of choice, and like the user interface, it's just stale, and nobody wants a stale operating system. I mean, I know that, you know that, and it just annoy you, especially being tied down to a 2-year contract or maybe a 1.5-year contract or something along them lines. So let's take a look at some of the things that you're going to be using on a day-to-day basis, starting off with internet browsing. A smartphone needs to be good at internet browsing, otherwise it's not a very good smartphone. So just loading up the browser, we'll go to orange.co.uk, which is actually a pretty media based website, and as you can see it's loaded Orange. Now I'm just going to scroll down the page as quickly as I can and see if that lack of RAM support, well, compared to nowadays, the lack of RAM is going to affect web browsing. Well, there's no checkered boards. Zooming in, it's pretty fluent, and zooming out you are going to get some of them checkered boards. Just show that again if I can zoom in. And zooming out you are going to get some checkered boards. So again, web browsing, but it's not like it's too slow. I mean, I could definitely live with that as a day-to-day browser. So web browsing is not too bad. Let's just have a look at some more of the options that we're going to get. So I'm going to click options, and we can show open applications, go to web page options. Let's see what web page options we're going to get. So you can save it as a bookmark, you can reload, set it as home page, allow pop-ups, etc. So that's web browsing. Let's take a look at something else that you might use. Let's have a look at some of the applications that come built in to the phone. Now it's a smartphone, so I did expect this, but you are going to get some office applications. For example, Quick Office is a very popular mobile application as far as office work goes. I'm just going to show you some of the stuff, if it lets me, what Quick Office does. Mobilize your office. Welcome to Quick Office. So I'm guessing this is just going to be email and maybe word processing and stuff all on your phone, although I wouldn't like to replace that with replace my laptop with my phone. It's got a video editor, it's got OV music, so another part of the OV store, some clocks, social networking. Let's open up this video editor. If you make videos like I do, then you know, I can't expect this to be Final Cut Pro, but we'll see what it is. Let's just, yeah, get a couple of options. So you get a pretty nice user interface. I mean, you get your storyboard as expected. Okay, so yeah, you are going to get a nice range of applications. Plus, if you're not happy, you can also go to the OV store and download some more applications. Let's take a look at calendar. So you get a pretty decent and basic calendar on this. I mean, you know, it's a smartphone. It's not going to replace your computer for your office work, but it's just something that's going to be nice to have on the go. So that's really it. I'm not very enthusiastic about the operating system. The operating system on Nokia's N8 is just not up to standards. Symbian 3 is out of date, it's old, and like I said earlier in the video, it's the iOS of 2005. Now if you are looking to purchase a Nokia N8, hardware wise, I can't recommend it anymore. It is gorgeous. However, software, I would seriously wait until this Windows Phone 7 business with Nokia is actually confirmed and they have Windows Phone 7 on the devices, because personally, if Windows Phone 7 was on the Nokia N8, it would definitely be a great smartphone. I mean, it's not bad now. For the £350, you would be getting a decent phone, but you would have to live up with the old and stale operating system like I do with iOS. I mean, without iOS 5 on my device, I would have probably curled up and died by now. But you can pick up one of these Nokia N8 up from the Carphone warehouse. They're about £350, SIM free, and they're available in a silver and a black version. Now for more information on the Nokia N8, please check out the written review that will be in the description. I'd like to thank Nokia for sending this out for review, and if you are looking for an N8, please do consider the operating system, but you won't need to consider the hardware because Nokia have it spot on.